Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship from here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. This event brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Our streaming coverage provided by our friends at PoolDog.com. I'm Jason Bowman, your host, joined by Double J, Team USA Vice Captain Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, we said we'd be right back, and, man, we meant it. We got another match ready to go. They're waiting on us. So we're going to jump straight into the tournament format. Race to 7, combination of 8-ball and 9-ball, 5 games of 8-ball, 8 games of 9-ball. Double elimination. The winner of the lag chooses the break or the format. I believe the winner of the lag in this match actually chose the format of 8-ball. Before we meet the participants, let's hear a quick word from our friends at PoolDog.com.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PoolDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PoolDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
All right, and they are ready to go. We've got defending champion Abe Schaad out of Peoria, Illinois. He will have the break. His opponent in the background there, James Coleman out of Falls Church, Virginia. And folks, don't blink when Abe Schaad plays. You'll miss him. You'll see what I mean here in just a minute, Jeremy.
Yeah, you were telling me about that the last few days. That
2 balls on the break, 1 of each.
And he doesn't waste much time.
Nope, I love watching him play. He doesn't mess around.
Well,
Hurricane Abe, he was dubbed last year from our viewers.
Probably not going to take much time here on shooting at a solid as long as he's comfortable with the solid. He's a little elevated on the 1, but I think it's still the shot, the 1 ball. He could drop down on the 7 and the 4 afterwards. Stripes aren't bad. Have to do something with that. The two stripes just above the 3. So, if you're going to take some time, and you said he's a quick player, this is the time to take it.
Yeah, this is the most I've seen him stand still in the last 2 years. Of course, we met Abe last year here at the U.S. Amateur. He followed it up with a big win at our Pool Player Championships. He took the highest division of the 8-ball classic. Cuts that ball in the corner.
And got nice position. Probably going to go ahead and shoot the 3 off now. The only other real worry, you might say, probably after this one here, bumps the 8 over. That'll help. Probably going to use the, now he can shoot the 6 first. I would shoot the 6 and leave the 1 in the side last to get on the 8. But either is fine. He could shoot the 1, the 6, and then drop down for the 7, or the 4, and then use the 7 last as well. So really with the right side of the table so clear, meaning once these 2 solids are gone, coming down to get on the 8 is not going to be much of a problem. I like this initially, shoot the 6, follow down for the 7, and then the 4, and then use the 1 last to get on the 8. That's kind of what I initially saw. And how old is Abe?
Abe's 27 years old, and Jeremy, listen to this. He's been playing pool for 23 of those 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Started at 4 years old.
Well, it must be a family thing then.
Yep, started playing with his dad.
Real simple style, which I like.
I mentioned it, but Abe is the defending champion here, so he's going to get most folks' attention when they see him on the bracket there. Looks to be in good shape. Take an early lead here.
Yeah, this like most tournaments.
Break and run there for Abe Schaad.
It usually takes a roll or 2 to win it, but you can't get lucky to win these type of tournaments totally. You have to perform. So as Jason mentioned a moment ago, when players see Abe's name, they know they're dealing with a former champion or a defending champion.
Yeah, and you always think of that. I mean, it's obviously a lot of pressure on the champion or the defending champion, but maybe some pressure on their opponents too, because it's a little psychological thing. You know, he's been there, done that, and have to look and see what we know about James Coleman. I don't know a lot about him. This is his 7th time playing here.
Okay.
But he said he never plays well here, so Maybe that's why I'm not familiar with him. He is from Falls Church, Virginia, 50 years old. Been playing pool for 30 of those 50 years. He was a runner-up at our doubles 8-ball championship one year, so he's just got to figure it out here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. But for now, Abe will have the break. Again, we got 5 games of 8-ball that we'll see, and then we'll move to that 9-ball set.
Break you don't see a whole lot playing 8-ball, meaning breaking from the side but hitting the head ball. Hit him well, though, and he's not going to change a thing after an opening break and run, but quickly the break
Dry
went
break
against
there,
him
yeah.
a little bit.
Had a question about who gets assigned to the streaming tables, and generally our tournament staff is going to do that, but, you know, people want to see guys like Abe, the defending champ, play.
Yeah,
they want
and
to
they
see guys
deserve
like
it.
Brian Parks.
Yeah, they deserve it.
So if you've been here before, or if you're a former champion, there's a very good chance you're going to.
Or you win a couple matches,
yeah.
stay on that winner's side.
Absolutely.
You know, those are the build-up matches for the stream. And, of course, as the tournament goes along, we'll see plenty of one-loss side matches on the stream as well.
Getting a look here at
Yeah.
James Coleman. Been an APA member for quarter century.
Wow, well, there you go. Okay, watch out for that cue ball. Okay, that's going to work out nice. It could have been really treacherous if he had ended up on the 6 and maybe with no shot, but now taking care of one of the problems, which is the 6 ball in the side pocket. He can't pass on that. He's got some work to do, and he's got some things to figure out. When you're playing 8-ball, you know, a lot of times you have a natural, you know, shot like you would normally think, you know, like looking at the 1 ball, for instance. It goes in both those lower corners, but really to get through the rack smoothly sometimes, you may have to look at like shooting the 4 right here and try to get on that 1 in the side, even knowing you have the 2 just in case you don't get where you want. That really opens up the rack easily, meaning taking away some congestion. Now he decided to go into him, and nothing too wrong with that, having 3 solids so near. You got to figure pretty hard not to get a shot.
James going to utilize the bridge here.
I was just about to say that. He needs to make sure he doesn't let up on this. He needs to make sure he draws the cue ball. Easy to go into the top of the 2 and actually let the 2 bounce up and not have a shot. He went into the top of it and kind of just let the 2 lay on the back rail, and now in some trouble. And this is where you got to make a decision. Do I bump the 2 up to where it's kind of more available and challenge my opponent on a long shot? Or do I try to make some, you know, a little bit of a miraculous shot, maybe banking the 2 long rail? You know, and without knowing your opponents, and this is one position where James does kind of know his opponent without knowing him, meaning he knows he won the tournament last year. So
Google his name, you'll see some video of him for sure.
Yeah, so challenging him on a long shot may not be what he wants to do. But see, now the thing is, when you challenge somebody, okay, like he's doing here, okay, the one thing about a challenge situation is you need to put that 2 ball in play, because now Abe has a choice. He doesn't have to take a chance at a long shot or a miss or anything like that. He can roll the 14 and try to make it, but knowing that if he doesn't make it, he's not really leaving a shot. So in that situation right there, I like that James left the cue ball on the back rail and left a long shot, but he needs to bump that 2 up into play a little bit more. That way he keeps some pressure on Abe. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Is he glancing off the 11, trying to put him behind the 14-9? And this is where you don't overthink it, I think, if you're Abe. And you could go for the devastating snooker, but don't take any chance doing so, meaning don't flirt with the side pocket or any of that here, or the opposite corner pocket. Nice shot. And that's what I mean as far as keeping the 2 on the back rail. If he had bumped the 2 up in front of that right pocket over there, the safety wouldn't have been so easy.
Just joining us, you're watching the third round of the U.S. Amateur Championship, which got underway early this morning in Palm Harbor, Florida. We're here at Strokers, well-known pool room here in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, I've been here 27 years. Okay, he's going to kick and try and hit the 5. Oh, he went after the 2 and a really nice effort there. And that's a little more of what I'm talking about. You know, now the safety's not so easy. Abe's got to probably bury this 14 ball. Even though it looks like to me he can slow roll this and kind of hold the cue ball off the 9 in that area just in case he misses. They're still not going to give up a shot. Now Abe being from Peoria, of course there's big tables near, but that's a real 7-foot area for pool. And usually when the 7-foot area is involved, that not afraid at all. I'll tell you what, taking on these long shots. But anyways, usually when a 7-foot area for pool is big, usually 8 ball's big as well. So I'm sure, without seeing last year Abe playing, I'm sure he's a very capable 8-ball player. You said he won the highest level at the APA National.
Yeah, our 8-ball classic at our part of our pool player championships in the spring.
Kind of mapping it out now, just to make sure of no mistakes. Okay, want to get at that 11, but he doesn't want to shoot it being elevated.
Looks like some state championships as well for Abe. Pretty accomplished player at a young age, 27 years old.
And again, taking more time here, and this is really just all about getting position on the 8. What he wants to do later in the rack to make it easy to get position on the 8. No problems there. I'm guessing it's going to be the 11, 10, 12 on the side come across for the 8. In the same pocket he's shooting the 11 in. Really a straight stroke, though, I'll tell you that. Simple motion, which I love.
Josh Rodriguez, there is no shot clock used here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Not that we typically need one with Mr. Schaad here. He's not one to take too long between shots. But
well, last year, you know, he won it, so that means he did most of the shooting, and he's not a slow player.
Absolutely not.
Didn't hold anything up last year.
No, if anything, he helps us catch back up. Always moving.
All right, just don't flirt with the 2 ball. Just draw above the 8. Yeah, like that, using the rail as a reference.
Eight in the corner. Schaad up 2 games to none in this race to 7, the second of 5 racks of 8-ball that we'll see. James Coleman will prepare the rack. Got a moment. Want to mention a special offer from our friends at PoolDog.com. Offer on their new Summit Pro Low deflection shaft. If you've been looking to upgrade your equipment, upgrade your shaft to a new low deflection shaft, but you don't want to spend a lot of money to do it, they've got a nice offer, $134. Comes with a Kamui clear soft tip.
Yeah, one heck of a deal if you're trying to make that transition, and
Yeah.
you don't want to look at that the biggest investment possible.
A lot of bang for your buck there, and the nice thing is too, they have a 60-day like guarantee on that stuff. So
right,
if you happen then to if it doesn't feel right to you, you can send it back. So if you're looking to up your game, visit pooldog.com. That, and as we move into the Christmas season, if you're buying some billiard accessories for your friends and family, your teammates, be sure to visit our friends from pooldog.com. Again, big reason that we're able to bring you this streaming coverage free of charge. Abe Schaad with the break here. Third game of the 8-ball set.
Okay, it looks dry again. And Abe, obviously, when you've done as well in the tournaments as he has, probably recognize that and maybe change it up in his next break, and whenever that is. Don't want to. That's one thing in pool. You don't want to be stubborn about the break. Because you can certainly walk away from a lot of matches scratching your head, wondering, why did I do that? Why did it not work?
When you decide to make that adjustment within a match, I mean, do you make just a minor adjustment, or do you go to the opposite side of the table? I mean, how much do you adjust?
Well,
just based on what's going on?
Well, you know, generally there are places on the table or multiple places on the table that one player prefers, you know, versus the next, right? Like, a big miss there, and can't afford those, obviously. But like me, if I have to break from the side rail, I like the right side rail better than the left. But if the left, the other thing I watch is what my opponent, what kind of results is he getting from where he's breaking, or she. So I might go to that location if they're having a lot of success, or I might go to my second or third best location for myself, where I feel like I hit the balls the best. My opponent's results would direct me quicker than anything if they're away from a spot or to a spot, meaning if they're doing well with a certain spot they're breaking from, and I'm struggling, I'm going to where they've been breaking. And then quite the opposite. If they're struggling from a spot and I feel like I need to change, it probably not going to go to the same spot they're struggling from. You know, in certain games you have certain types of breaks. 10 ball you break a little more out from the head of the table, the front of the middle of the table, and 9 ball a little more from the side rail, and 8 ball if I break from the side rail it's usually the second ball, whereas if I'm breaking the head ball I break more like 10 ball. So, and I'll tell you what, one thing I've seen is he has not wobbled a ball in at all. It's been center cut when it hits the pocket. Now he's looking at this 1 ball. He's going to roll forward, I believe, off the 5. Trying to shoot that little gap on the 4 in the side or the 4 in the upper corner. The 6 goes in the upper corner, too.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I always feel like we're watching him on, like, fast forward. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just sped up a little bit. But
well, he's animated.
This is real-time speed. Yeah, it's just he just cruises around so quick.
And you can tell it's probably not just pool. He's probably a jumpy kind of guy.
I mean, even just his practice strokes, very quick.
Yeah.
Doesn't waste any time.
Well,
always moving.
One thing, he's got the 6 and the 4 that go up in the upper corner. And when you have 2 balls near each other, and you have those, they both go, you want a certain position point, but don't overthink it too much, meaning you have lots of options when you have 2 of them that go. There's not really too much of a bad angle that hurts you. He's a little upset. He got a little bit funny on this 4. Just a little bit. Like he may have to kind of just hold his ball real close to the 6 here. Obviously has some talent. Like I said, he's going to draw into the 6, and that's what I was about to say. Really hasn't made any bad decisions either. Now, I don't even think that was a bad decision. That was just didn't work out. Okay, he can lay up just on the he's looking at cutting it. No, I don't like that. He can lay up just on the bottom side of the 6 and not give up an offensive shot at all to James. Meaning just bump the bottom of it to where the 6 cut us off all the stripes up table. I was looking at the cut again, and I think the cut's very difficult. Wow.
Nice.
He's got the 3 in the side, I believe. And that's that kind of jumpy, I don't even know how to label it. Personality, I guess.
Yeah, I told you, he's fun to watch.
Well, be honest with you, he started at a young age, right? So you carry tendencies, and he probably had that kind of, jumpy way around the table since he was a young man. And
Well, if he started at 4 years old, he was probably just running circles around the table and just never stopped. He just started making more balls in between.
right. Okay, well, again, you can see the talent, and really what I've seen some really good decisions as well.
Pockets that 8 in the corner. Abe Schaad, Hurricane Abe. Storms are brewing here at Strokers. He's up 3-0 in this race to 7. He'll still maintain the break as well. I thought that was a little bit of a curious decision when James won the lag, decided to go with the format and not the break, and hindsight is what it is. Who knows? I don't know if it mattered a whole lot, but
Well, the score means a lot, and he obviously knows that Abe can break and run out. I mean,
yeah.
But probably feels like he's not near as much underdog in the 8 ball as he is in 9 ball.
Yeah, and that's what's hard though. Then when you see and you suddenly you're down 3-0 in the format you chose, and you're thinking, ooh.
Well, he had shots though.
Yeah.
He made a nice run out and kind of got himself in a silly way on top of the 2 ball in the second game and kind of cut the run out cut the run out off when he was using the bridge, and then he opened in the third game on a 2 ball that he shouldn't have missed. Kind of maybe took it for granted or looked ahead a little bit. Now Abe's sticking with this break and has had 2 dry breaks the last 2 games.
4th of 5th racks of 8 ball that we'll see.
Okay, got a solid down, and he's going to get a shot on the solids, whether it be the 7 or the 3. He's got the 2 up in the corner, and he's got a real nice spread, so expect another run out. He'll knock the 7 in, bump the 3 a little bit, I think. The 2 goes by the 6, so that's not a problem, and very soon he'll go up and get the 1 ball, which is in the middle of the table. Won't waste much time on that. Let's just keep it simple. You're going to rub the 3 just a little bit. You got the 6. You may shoot the 6 and hold for the 5 in the side. Yeah, one thing also in 8 ball, you have to be able to look at the table and imagine what the table's going to look like when a few of the balls are taken away and how lanes open up. Okay, 5, 1 ball on the side, and then he'll just deal with these 3 down at the end of the table. So probably the 3 ball after the 1, then the 6.
Some questions. Yeah, there is a dress code. Somebody commenting on the polo shirts and slacks. We do ask these players to dress a little bit nicer than you might see in the general rounds of one of our Vegas events. Of course, we ask the players to dress up when they come into Pool Dog Arena out in Vegas. Just looks better for the sport overall as we try to get more
absolutely
eyeballs and things like that. The other question was about a flow chart. We do have I'm assuming you mean the tournament bracket. Find that at compusport.us.
Yeah, that's a good thing as far as, everybody looking a little nicer while they're competing. And
Yeah.
In y'all's big events out in Vegas, that would be a difficult thing to try and police.
Yeah, at least until we get in the semifinals. Again, in our Vegas events, the semifinals and finals, we move them into what we call Pool Dog Championship Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that setup I was showing you earlier. And
right.
so we do enforce a stricter dress code in there. Again, because at that point in the tournament, you've got live streaming, you got a lot of photography. You know, I mean, you're
absolutely.
when you're trying to elevate the sport, you've got to, these are the things you have to do.
And it may take a little convincing, but probably play better when you look a little better, feel a little better. And another run out here for Abe, looking to go 4-0. And again, I really haven't seen an object ball rub the rail at all going into the pocket.
Yeah. Abe
So
Schaad up 4-0 in this race to 7. Ready to see our final game in the 8-ball rack, or the 8-ball set. Question about the prize money. This is an event that does not offer prize money. What you do win here is a entry into a pro event the following year. A lot of players opt for the U.S. Open or the International Open. Airfare and hotel included in that, as well as your entry fee. Of course, you get to come back and defend your title.
Yeah, and try and do it again.
Yeah, but I think what I think when I talk to most players, and we talked to Tina Larsen about it last night, what brings her back after winning, already twice now for the 3rd time, and it's really about getting their name on that trophy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cementing their legacy. But there are some nice prizes. I think they actually get a jacket, they get a trophy.
Of
course, every player here, their room's paid for at the hotel right there and at the Godfrey, which is a really nice place. If you've never been to Tampa and you're looking for a hotel,
yeah, it's
the Godfrey
real
there
on
the water, beautiful place.
Okay, breaking off in game number 5.
And I'm not sure how Abe did in the pro event we sent him to last year. I have to find out which event that was. Might have been the International. I don't know if you don't remember seeing him last week, do you? I know there's a lot of players there. You probably wouldn't remember.
No, I don't recall, but
maybe Susie, his
did he make
his
one
girlfriend
of each
might be able to chime in and tell us where he played. He didn't play in one. He's going to play in the U.S. Open. Okay. It was full by the time he tried to get in this year. Of course, that was very quickly sold out this past year. So.
Okay, a safety here and a good one. He can come 2 rails and plant him right on the back of the 13-12 and open up that little problem with the 11.
What's up, Jose?
Or the 9-13, excuse me. Yeah, you want to be aggressive coming up on that ball. So that's going to be upsetting.
Yeah, I saw your comment. Thank you, though. You can always count on Susie to fill us in.
Okay, so a long, tough one on the 3 to start. And hadn't got to shoot much in this match, that being James. But he can get on the board here. Very runnable solids. Okay.
Can't make those kind of mistakes, though.
No.
Definitely not against Abe.
Just not enough time yet to get that arm loose. And he knows there's a lot of pressure. And really kind of put Abe in a great position here to. He's got to softly knock this one in and hold for. I think that's the 12 on the bottom rail with it. Okay.
Brandon, not sure what kind of tapper the low deflection shaft from Pool Dog comes with, but I'm sure if you reach out to them on their Facebook page, they are very quick to respond there. Kevin and the crew there at Pool Dog back in Colorado. Be happy to answer your question.
Funny shot here. He wants to knock this in and probably get on that combination on the side rail. One thing about that combination on the side rail is if he's got to figure out if he can hold the 11 there for another shot after making the combination. Otherwise, he wants to get a little angle where he can come across for the 9 or the 13. Okay, got a nice little angle. Now, again, is the 11 going to hold right there? I think he's looking at that it will. Got himself elevated just a hair, though. Oh, if he's got to cut it that much, that means he's going to have to move the cue ball across for position on either the 9 or the 13. Now, the interesting thing about this shot is where's the 11 going? Is the 11 going on top of the 8? Is the 11 going to obstruct anything for a future run like this? Like that? The 11 got jumbled up. The 13 doesn't go now. I don't think it goes. No, it didn't. So now James with a starter, and much easier than the one he was faced with at the beginning of this rack. 2 ball inside. Got some worry with the 6 and the 8 a little bit. I think the 6 does go in the lower right-hand corner, but gonna have to get some pretty handy position on it.
This is the 5th and final rack of the 8-ball set. After this rack, the players will put away a few of those balls and we'll switch over to 9-ball.
Yeah, I'd like to say fast and loose, but Abe's already
We're
exhibited
there.
some fast and loose in the 8-ball. 8-ball is usually the slower of the 2 games, and a little more thinking involved for sure. Okay, so it should be 1, 3, then a nice angle on the 7 to come across the table for the 6. So even though trailing 4-0, you know, made a really nice run to get kind of in a pickle the first game and not finish the run. In the second game, kind of a miss you didn't expect. And then a couple racks run by Abe. So I think James is a pretty solid player as well. Just hasn't got the time at the table just yet. Abe's going to look at this ball to make sure there's no questions of a good hit or not, and it looks pretty obvious to me that the 6 is going to be contacted first. Don't think there's much of an issue. But always better safe than sorry, Jason.
Mm-hmm. So they'll wait for our floor manager to make his way over there. And while we wait, I just want to mention to the folks that are interested in competing in next year's U.S. Amateur Championship, you can go to usam.poolplayers.com and sign up. You can do that actually today. You can get signed up and compete in a preliminary round, and top players from there will make their way back down here to Tampa, and you can play against 3-time champion Tina Larsen, who's dropped by to say hello. Tina victorious last night in the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. I know she's got to be thrilled today.
Yeah, all smiles, and deservedly so.
We've mentioned Pool Dog quite a bit. I want to mention our other sponsors. Action Q's, Valley Dynamo, Aramith.
And that was a good hit. You can see Abe racking the balls now for our 9-ball part of this match.
Yep.
4-1 is the score. Keep that updated for you.
James with his first break here in this match. Third round of the U.S. Amateur Championship continues through Sunday. There's Mike Lee, runner-up from last year.
From Canada, you said, yeah.
He's out of Ontario.
Another French-Canadian. Okay, nice break off there. Getting the corner ball down, and he's going to get a cut shot on the one, and not an easy one, and not easy position, but probably straight up and down the table, coming across the spot and back up for some type of cut on the two. When you get a little thin on them, if you have the choice, you don't want to float it very often. You want to put a little more of a full stroke and let the cue ball run up and down here. Oh, he played the safety. And maybe the cut wasn't available. Well, watch out, 9-ball. It's laying pretty good to play a kiss shot here. And, you know, you would think up 4-1 you can afford that. That's not really the mentality you want to carry into trying to win tournaments. But sometimes, you know, especially because the safety isn't so easy, you know, you got to take a chance every now and again. It's laying really nice. He can hit ball first or rail first going into the 9. And
that's what he's looking at.
yeah, that's why I'm saying the safety just isn't really easy. It's doable though. Looking at clipping the left side of the one if you're looking at your screen.
Let's see if you talked him into it. I guess not.
I don't think so. All right, watch out, 6-ball. Okay, he got by it. Still gave up a shot, but a tough one. And another one that the 9-ball could get involved in. Oh, see there?
Oh.
Okay.
Almost got that 9 to drop in the corner.
And it's going to be a 3-ball combination.
Yeah.
It is missable. He could get inside the 3 in the rail and overcut the 3 and not make the 9, but about 10 different ways you can make the 9 here.
And
yeah,
there
nice
it is.
shot.
Abe Schaad with that 3-ball combo, pockets the 9 in the corner, takes a 5-1 lead over James Coleman. Abe will have the break. Again, race to 7, double elimination. One of these players will continue on the right side of the bracket. The other will move to the 1-loss side. Of course, you can follow our bracket at CompuSport.us. If you want to see when either of these players play again, or you want to look up your favorite player in the tournament, you can do that there. You can also like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notifications as matches go live.
Well, sticking with the same location to break from for 9-ball as the 8-ball. So obviously a place he's comfortable breaking the balls. I'm not sure the 2 passes the 8. The 2 passes the 8, makes things a lot easier. Otherwise, he's got to draw the cue ball back for the 2 in the side, which he's laying nice to do so.
Question about why they're not using the template rack. We haven't seen the players opt to use it a lot. Basically, my understanding is if both players agree to use it and that's what they want to use, it's fine. But it seems like most have opted for the wood rack. I think we only saw one match in the first 2 days where they utilized it. So and you touched on that a couple days ago. It's just sometimes, you know, it's a little too consistent and too predictable, and so they don't like that at this level.
Yeah, you know, something to keeping the integrity of the game and keeping it difficult. Our first jump shot with the jump cue of the match. Gonna give up a shot on the 2 in the corner by the 4. He's gonna have to draw his ball to the side rail and back over for the 3. Guessing that, you know, being a good player like Abe is, that he attacks a lot. He's not one to looking for the safety. Really a straight shooter. He's gonna have to show off some stroke here though. If he draws the ball, he's kind of going on top of the 4. And he just doesn't have much angle to be able to follow the ball and get to the side rail easily. All right, he's following the ball, trying to use that little angle.
Oh.
And he tried to add some speed to create that angle to try and get position on the 4. And hasn't left it easy. A very makeable shot on the 3 for James, but not easy position coming back down table. May have to just come across here and take the cut shot on the 4. We'll see. Oh, he's elevating the cue, so that means he's trying to come down and get a lot closer. So we've got to really maintain the line of the cue ball, not to get behind another ball. Oh, great stroke there. And doesn't want to bump the 6 too much unless it really dresses up on the 9. And again, this isn't where I would, you know, a lot of people say, oh, don't ever shoot the combinations, run the table. But if it's a little funny getting from the 5 to the 6 on that short side and still having the angle to get back on the 7, you may end up seeing him play a 6-9 combination. Okay, kind of getting close to his work. But he's going to shoot at this, I would think anyways. Try and pocket it in the upper left and draw over for that 6-9 combo I was talking about. Don't think he'll come back across, but talked about earlier, when you get close to the ball, it's hard to aim sometimes. Oh, he did great there and did get back across for the 6. He's stretching, being right-handed and elevated over the 8, though, so nothing easy. Okay, going to get close to the 7 again. Ooh, man, not much angle. He's got enough to move the cue ball, but doesn't have a bunch. So another tough shot, just kind of getting through this rack. Nothing easy. Great shot. And again, nothing easy.
They pocketed the 8 in the corner, left himself tough on that 9 ball.
Really tough. Going for the cut shot, it looks like, and hung it. It's going to be upsetting, but man, pretty impressive work. Just couldn't quite ever get in line, you know, get that position he wanted.
Abe with an opportunity to go on the hill. And he does. Now leads 6-1. Abe will have the break. James will have to really turn things around here. It's going to be tough. Again, Abe, the defending champ, Hurricane Abe, as they call him online here.
Well, definitely not over it, but it's just been a few things for James, and really actually played pretty well. It's just been a couple, there just couldn't quite get in line.
Yeah, and Abe doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So,
No.
I mean, he had one in that last match, an opportunity there for James. But otherwise, just not many chinks in the armor there.
We haven't seen too many issues with the players racking the balls on this table. Seems to be a pretty easy table to rack on, and everyone knows sometimes you can get on a table. It's just, the slate's been beat on a little bit or whatever. It's just really hard to rack the balls. Okay, 8 ball's going to go down. He's going to get a shot
on the break, yeah.
And the 2's going to be a little ugly, but he could play safe right now, especially with the 3 being so tied up on the 9 as well. Didn't get what he wanted there, but it'll be a little upsetting, but
James Coleman at the table here, surveying the situation.
and I don't know if he can get at the 1 enough to make it. May just have to edge the 1 and maybe run the cue ball safe maybe, or go at the 3-9 with the cue ball. And that's what he was trying to do. Oh, I think he's fouled here. Yeah, that's a foul. They didn't recognize it, but he moved the 2 with his cue. The 2-7 were lodged up there, and it's one of those fouls you don't recognize very often. But watch when he shoots 3. He moves the 2 with his cue stick here. See that? Watch when he brings the cue up. See that? And then the cue ball comes back and hits that ball. So I'm sure under the APA rules, I think it's probably still, even under the APA rules, is probably a foul. But it's one that you don't recognize very often. Even the guy playing, the guy who shot, didn't recognize it. It's not a foul just to touch a ball with your cue.
Yeah.
But when you touch a ball and then the cue ball comes back in the path of that ball, or hits that ball, that's when it becomes a foul, actually. So
Abe doesn't call it there. And again,
no, he didn't see it.
The referee only gets involved if asked by the players to watch a shot. So,
yeah, and I'm sure actually neither player even noticed it happen. They were both watching the balls roll around.
Watch all the other action.
Exactly,
yeah.
and that happens all the time, and at every level, believe it or not. Okay, a nice safety right there, and one that Abe's going to want to hit this 1 ball. Could give up an early 1-9 combination. Now, the one thing about kicking that way is you have a chance to make the 9. But just imagine kicking in between the 7 like this and the 2 and coming down at these balls. Very hard not to hit them, not to hit the 1 ball. Whereas kicking cross table, you could actually go right in between or right by both of them. But still, though, this is your natural instinct. This is the way you would, at first look at the kick shot. And I wouldn't be surprised if he kicks, not super hard here, like a medium to a lighter speed. Oh, great hit. Cue ball's going to chase up with the 1 ball. Possibly not give up too much of a shot.
James trying to do everything he can.
Might go at the 9 here.
To prolong this match.
With the cue ball. Oh, he went for the bank. And
gets the 1.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, a pretty solid player. It's just been a couple of things. And, of course, some fine shooting by our defending champion who's run some racks. One tough shot here. He has to go up and down the table with top English. Not easy. Oh, he hit it great. So you don't accidentally make shots like that, you know. So the score's telling us that, of course, it has been a little one-sided, but I think James pretty solid. A little thin here, so he's got to hit it with a mild speed.
James looks to be in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, he's just got to cut the 6 and move the cue ball. He can come 1 rail off the top rail back, somewhat in the position he's in now, or he can go with top English and a little left spin and wrap 2 rails out of that top left corner. Kind of whatever he wants. I like that shot. Real simple.
James now shooting on the 9 ball. Taking it 1 rack at a time. Trying to scratch and claw back into this match. Shaves a game off Abe's lead. Now trails by 4 games.
Yeah, this is where, if you're trailing, you really, really like that winter break. Put a few together.
There you go. Again, James Coleman, he's out of Falls Church, Virginia. Got a ball in the corner pocket there on the break. Plays the safety there.
A good one. So probably be a 2 rail kick at the 1, using the left side rail, the left long rail, and then going to the top rail and coming underneath the 1 ball. Could kick 1 rail at it, but usually you'll go 2 rails. You get a little better visual. Oh, he's just shaped
Got it.
Yeah. And again, making some nice shots. Thin cut, back cut to the upper right-hand corner. Yeah, more missable ball. It's what we call blind pocket. You're shooting at. He made a similar cut shot in the 8-ball that was probably even tougher than this on the 6, and he just diced it right on in. Oh yeah, it was definitely tougher than that. That's good speed there, going back and forth for the 3 in the side. Should hold for the 4 in the same side, and now he's got a little work going, getting from the 6 to the 7 with the 9 being there. Kind of cutting off a few of the routes you might take. Okay, you may have overran here a little bit. It's close. I think he's got to go to the rail over here, the left long rail. Oh no, he's elevating, so he's just punching straight down. I'll tell you, he's got really nice control. That's like perfect. Now you'll never ever hit the 9 ball, which is the problem. Just a little right spin to come all the way down for the 7.
He sure makes it look easy.
Well, you know, but he's made solid decisions,
Wow.
and again, the talent level is very high.
Just makes it look kind of effortless, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Between the speed that he shoots and the accuracy.
Yeah, but the thought process is good, meaning he's still working through the rack. He's still doing what it takes to make the rack as easy as possible on him, along with having a bunch of talent.
Yeah.
That's a great combination.
That it is.
Effort and talent.
2 balls away from his first victory in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Missed that 8 in the side, though. It's going to make things interesting.
Yeah. Very unexpected. You know, and we talk about, you know, for instance, like James, you know, he may not win this match, but if he can do some things to get some table time and carry it into some future watch out side pocket. Watch out side pocket. Okay. And carry that momentum into some other matches, that's huge. And there's a lot of players, of course, mainly guys in this event, but a lot of players in this event that can do the same now.
All right, things getting a little more interesting here. It looked like Abrin might be out there, but missed that 8 in the side. James Coleman creeping back in this.
Yeah. What I was getting at is even more powerful, though. Like you look at like Abe, last year's champion, obviously very talented, good, you know, really good player. Him or like a Brian Parks or a few of the other guys I know in the room. You know, if the better players in the event have that really good match, it's even more powerful because it really settles them to keep doing what they're doing and put a lot of confidence, that, you know, in their game. Okay, so a dry break there, giving up a long shot on the 1. I think if he kind of smooths this ball, he might go right in between the 7-4 and right in between back up off the 7-4 like that. Yeah, nice shot. Now he actually got more on it than he anticipated. Left himself a little bit of a difficult shot on the 2 and 1. I think he's got a slow roll because the 3 does not pass the 6. He overcut it. I'll tell you, James, if he gets out here, definitely in striking distance, in my opinion. Kind of seems like the man I watched practice the other night in here, but I'm not sure it is. Stroke looks similar. The build looks similar. Okay, just barely got enough angle, I think, to come to the bottom rail and up for the 7. Now he's got to come all the way back down for the 8, so you got to be mindful. Meaning he needs to gain an angle on the 7 as well. Can't just roam the cue ball down there, and if he falls straight in, could be problems. Okay, looks pretty good. This is most likely a top right English shot coming 2 rails. He could punch this 1 rail. Could come 1 rail down the table to the short side of the 8 as well. There's that 2 rails I was talking about with the top inside. So in my mind, James looks very capable to me. And I'm sure Abe wants to get this over just as quick as he can.
It's gotten a lot more interesting, no doubt about it. And I don't know what the final outcome will be, Jeremy, but you got to like the fight you've seen from James here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this match looked all but over, and here we are. 6-4. James will continue to have the break. Again, we talked about the winner break format and the opportunity it presents to climb back into a match.
Okay.
Watch that 9 ball. Oof.
Yeah, and a dry break. Is the 5 going to help him? I think so. So there's a nice little kick safety here, but he's stretched and he may have to shoot it left-handed. May roll out here. I'd like to shoot the kick shot just because it's with the top left English, a real good chance of getting him behind the 5. I don't think he can get at the 1. Maybe he can. One thing about this kick shot, though, if it leaks on you, you could see a 6-9 hanging over this pocket here, and maybe he can cut this in. Not taking much time, surprisingly. And this is what I was talking about. If you don't get the snooker, you're leaving your opponent. He's going to make one of these down here, whether it be the 1, the 6, the 9, the 1 and the 6. Don't think he can make the 9 and the 6, maybe the 1 and the 6. And as solid as James has looked on a couple of these runouts, I wouldn't even mess with the 9 here. I'd go after the 6 ball. It's a little more guarantee. And no problems on this end of the table. You can see how clear it is. Only the 1, 9, and 6 are down here. So just shoot this in and draw your cue ball to the rail and back out, I think. You could roll it, but I'm afraid if I rolled it, maybe the 9 snookers me somehow on the 1 or something like that. Uh-oh, look at this, a little 1-9 action. We're about to be at 6-5 here, Jason.
Don't call it a comeback.
Okay. Oh, is he playing the carom? No, got to be playing the combo. Just take care of the cue ball. Don't lose the cue ball somewhere.
1-9 in the corner. 6-5.
So a lot of heat on both the players now.
Jeremy, we're a 9 on the snap away from things getting super interesting here. James has mounted quite the comeback. Once again with the break. Got that 9 ball moving on the last break. See if he can do it again.
Sure did. Had a lot of power in the break as well.
Not quite as much there.
Yeah,
and
nothing down yet. But not really an offensive shot, and the 2-3 kind of not in the most favorable position. I wonder, can he feather the 1 and get him up on the 3? Go to the bottom rail and get him up on the 3. It's a touchy shot, but that's what he's looking at, just barely edging the 1 and coming. Oh, he let it leak a little bit. So now he's left a cut shot or a safety option. If he cuts it, maybe even if he plays safe, it may have to be lefty or with the bridge.
Jeff Adkins, good to see you tuning in. Hope you're well. One of our referees in Vegas. One of my former league players, played in my league there in Jefferson County, Missouri.
Okay, so jump cue action. You know what he's thinking is if I make it,
Take
one
the
ball
1-2-9 combo.
Well, what the if he makes the 1, there's just really not much on the 2 ball. So what's the point on trying to make the 1? I think he's going to jump the 1 and try and send the cue ball at the 9.
All right.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, and I think he fouled. Oh, he hit it with his cue. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
So replace the ball.
So I don't think you'll see an offensive shot on the 1 here. Just because the 2, again, is way back down table and very hard to do anything with. So should be a safety here. Watch out, cue ball.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and you'll see Abe attack here somehow, whether he has to break out the 2-3 or if he plays some type of short side position on the 2. It goes in this lower left-hand corner down here near the 8. Tell you what, though, not the easiest to have the control for the position there he's looking at. So if he decided to go ahead and break the balls out, I couldn't blame him, not one bit.
APA Kevin tuning in. No idea who that guy is. Sounds like trouble, though. APA Kevin. Use your last name. Come on.
I like him doing this. What he's looking at here is he has a big area of position for the 2 because the 2 goes easily off the 7 and the side. So rather than breaking him out or taking any option in that regard, it's going to be, I think, try to play for the corner maybe, but if not, you got the side, or try to play for the side, or maybe if not, you got the corner.
Questions on the skill levels on these players. Again, U.S. Amateur Championship, no skill levels used here. I think both these players do play APA. My guess is in 8-ball they're 7s and 9-ball they're 9s. Most of these players that are here, same way.
Okay, he's not going to take any chance. It looks like he's playing safe. That's surprising to me. He's a very talented guy, and working the cue ball really not much of a problem for him. And, you know, a lot of times all it takes is one really good kick shot to steal this game, and then, like you said, maybe a 9 on the break,
Yeah.
or early combo, or a break and run. So we'll see. That was Tampa's own. Do you know Justin?
Yeah, he's
of
been on the
course.
Moscone team
yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, a couple times. And he's from St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't see his Cardinal hat?
Another Justin
I'm sure
from
he
St.
had.
Louis.
Justin Hall.
Justin Hall. That's
Yeah,
right,
him and Bergman grew up together, actually. Two of the best junior players you'll ever see. And Justin, a great all-around player and a guy that I hope he gets back into playing the pro tournaments like he should be.
You living down here in Tampa now?
Yeah, he's been down in Florida for some time.
Good for him.
He has a couple children down here, and
I made the reverse decision, Florida back to St. Louis. I don't know what I was thinking there. He did it the right way.
Yeah, I think he's been here some probably 12 years, 10, 12 years, maybe longer. Okay, so Abe taking a hair more time because I think he knows now's the time. No reason to go any longer on finishing this match. The thing he's concerned about is the 7 to the 8. If the 9 wasn't there, there's no concerns. But now he has to play a little bit of tidy position on the 7 and make sure he has an angle to get back up on the 8. He can't just fall to this bottom rail and allow himself to get straight in on the 7 and start having some problems. So should pull this a couple rails above the 9 right in that area there. Now the one thing is he can't just swing it real tight because the 8's in the way, so he's got to kind of float into position with top English like that. A lot of times guys will use that 3rd rail and come much shorter, but he recognized easily the 8 was in the way. Okay, kind of going towards the 8 here with the cue ball. No, he's good. He's good.
Uh-oh.
He's all right. It's going to be a little thinner than he wanted, but very makeable. I think the cue ball will go to the end rail with no problem. Don't really think it's going to scratch.
Nice cut there for Abe Schaad. He wins this match.
And I think a good thing for James to get some games on his side and get a lot more time at the table. I know it's a loss, but he's going to get to play more pool here on the B side.
So a nice win for your defending champ, Abe Schaad, starting off on the right foot. Going to take a break here, and I'll have a couple more matches for you folks in just a little bit. Encourage you to stay tuned here to our Facebook page for notifications on when we go live, and we'll see you folks in just a little while. Thanks for tuning in.